watching on YouTube, make sure I'm live. If you're planning on sticking around, triple tap the screen a billion times for me. Good morning, YouTube, and good morning, TikTok. You are watching live with LWL Lindsay with love. I always say, don't say love, but then I always say love. Okay. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. Welcome to the show. If you are new, hello, hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm here to raise the frequency of the planet. And I do that by reminding you every single day how freaking powerful you are. You are an energetic spiritual being, and once you learn how to use your most powerful energy in the appropriate way, when you release the limiting beliefs, when you reprogram the subconscious mind, you can get anything you desire in this lifetime. Does it take a little bit of foundational energetic work? Sure, but you can do it. I did it, so I know you can. Welcome to the show. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, belly nice and full. We're going to go let it out of the mouth. Good morning, Sarah on YouTube. Good morning to my TikTokers. If you are planning on sticking around and your fingers are free, can you do this on your screen a billion times? See if you can get some confetti to pop by giving me tons of likes. Why? Because it tells TikTok and my how many followers do I have? 35,000 plus followers that I am live. I'm here and I'm talking with you. So let's do it. Help a sister out. VIP Deborah is in the chat. Good morning, VIP Deborah. Thank you, Lily, for the likes. I appreciate your help. Good morning, Donna and Lisa and Layla and Melon Cake and Lily. Thank you for the likes. Guided by Luna. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate you guys' help. All right, let's go. Let's go. Good morning, VIP Catherine. I think I said good morning to you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the rose, Deborah. Okay, let's go, you guys. This is what we're talking about today. I had some thoughts come into my brain. They must be for somebody. Maybe they're for me. I actually had a really interesting thought this morning. I'm not going to share it with you. It's a private thought. It's a personal guidance. But I will say that what I received this morning is quite interesting and a thought I've never thought before and something I never paid any attention to before. So I'm going to work with what I was given today, some guidance I was given today. And if it works for me, then in a couple of weeks, likely I'll share it with you, right? That's how I do these things because I don't want to just share willy-nilly. I want to share what has worked for me so you can actually transform your life. I'm not a motivational speaker. Do I motivate people? Of course. That's part of what I'm here to do, but I'm actually transforming your life. I'm actually transforming your life if you let me. Of course, if you let me, right? I'm not the boss of you. You're the boss of you. Okay, let's go. So the first thought that came into my brain this morning was around rigid thinking. And rigid thinking keeps you on a very narrow path. Now, we just learned the other day, I read a really powerful message out of the book, Don Juan's Teachings by Carlos Castaneda, around how there are multiple paths. There are billions of paths. And all of them lead technically nowhere, right? Because we are infinite beings. So we're going to transition and come back. Ah, so cute. Oh my gosh. I was wondering what those little birdies were going to look like. Thank you, VIP Deborah, for sending me a dizzy bird. That is so cute. So we're all on a path to kind of nowhere, right? Technically, because we transition out of this body and then we go to wherever we go next. Personally, I think we just go to another life. Eventually we graduate and we get to become like one of the people that doesn't come back down to earth. I think that's my personal belief. Take your belief, use your own discernment. This is what I've experienced on my own journey. Okay. Always use your own discernment. If something doesn't vibe with you with what I say, you don't have to accept it as truth, right? You are in control of your own beliefs and your own thoughts. Sort of. Okay, so when the mind expands, so when you have very rigid thinking, you are on one path. You're on a one track mind, right? Is that what they call it? It's you're on a one track mind? I can't remember. Anyway, there's some sort of idiom like that. And when you open the mind, creativity starts to come to you. It's like you've unlocked your imagination. You've unlocked your creativity. And what happens when you have a lot of creative ideas is now you have a billion paths. Now, this could be a little bit overwhelming because you're like, well, before I was on one path, I knew exactly where I was going. And now I have all these paths. So what do I do with all these paths, right? But you follow them. It's quite simple. Which paths have a heart? Are you really into it? Follow it. See where it leads you. If it leads you to maybe like a couple steps forward, but then eventually kind of a dead end, then you turn on your path and you go to the next one that has a lot of heart and you follow that one. And what happens is it opens and it opens and it opens and more creative ideas come in, but they're not just more creative ideas. They're more creative ideas that are more effective, efficient, and productive and easier to get you to your goal, right? To get you to your goal. I had a creative idea flow into my brain on Saturday. I was like, holy shit. When it hit my brain, I was like, Well, of course, like it was not a new idea to me. It was not a new idea. It was a new idea that I could do that idea, you see. So I decided to follow it because it absolutely has a heart. And now I have a whole nother stream of income that I'm currently working on building. It was actually quite wild. And it's only been 4 days. And boom, there you have it. So you've got to open the mind up so you're not stuck on one path. Why? Because if you want to be wildly wealthy, if you want to be financially free, which most people do, and if you don't want to be, then I would say maybe you're just lying to yourself because you don't think you can achieve that. So you're saying like, I hate money. Money doesn't rule everything. Well, actually in this reality, it does right now. So play the game, right? Play the game. The longer that you hate money, the longer that you ignore the idea that right now in this life you are living, you need money, the longer it's going to take you to get the financial freedom you actually want. Everybody wants to be free. Nobody wants to be locked up at their computers, listening to their annoying boss all day. That's not real. Let's be real. Nobody likes that. Well, some people maybe, but that's like a whole different conversation, right? Good morning, RVA Cleo. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. VIP Aaron is in the house. All right, so that was one of the thoughts that came into my brain. Ponder that. If you're somebody who is like repulsed by the idea of money, hello, you live in this reality right now. You're here. So you might as well get cool with it. By the way, I'm working on a Release Your Limiting Beliefs Around Money course. I am so close, you guys. I keep saying I'm so close, but holy cow, there's a lot in, it's a very simple course, but there's material inside that needs to be organized. And what I'm going to do today, I've decided, after I film probably a YouTube video, is print everything out on the pages and start mapping it, because I need to map it so it makes sense for you. VIP Brenda, good morning. Welcome to the chat. Also, 9 to 5 is not bad. It's a thought that you hate the job that does the damage. I did not say 9 to 5 is bad, and you are right. 9 to 5 isn't bad. It's like we need people to work, right? That, of course. But if you don't want to do your job, then free yourself from it, right? In an appropriate way. Okay, the next thought that came into my mind was around meaning behind every little thing on your spiritual journey. So the idea being that sometimes we get into, because we're on a spiritual journey, we recognize that there is a lot of interconnectedness. In fact, everything is connected. And so sometimes we are seeing a synchronicity, and rather than accept the synchronicity as like a simple confirmation, we go into like, what did that mean? Oh my gosh, what did it mean? What did it mean? And what you do when you get so caught up in what did it mean, you take yourself out of your intuition, you put yourself into your thinking brain, which definitely does not have the answer, right? And you're so focused in on this that you start to miss your other synchronicities. So be mindful. I don't know why that thought came into my brain. So maybe somebody needs to hear it. Be mindful around like, I need to know every single little synchronicity and apply some meaning to it. No, you don't. You don't. Because like it's a constant opening of the path, right? So imagine you were spending so much time on a synchronicity from 10 days ago that you're missing the next 20 that have already come through to you. Because you're so in your thinking mind, what did it mean? Well, the way I like to look at my synchronicities is if I'm in like a really elevated state or if I'm in a lower state. I know my like baseline state. My baseline state is calm, creative, content, confident, charismatic. I'm vibing, I'm in flow, I'm doing the things, no worries in the world, right? That's my normal state. So if I'm below that and I receive a synchronicity, it's likely like a cheer up buttercup kind of a vibe. And if I'm in a really heightened state, elevated state, the synchronicity is typically like this, it's a big arrow sign. It's like, this is the way, keep going, right? So maybe you want to look at your states. Maybe you want to look at your synchronicities more so like, if you're in just like a chill vibe space and that's your normal state, like, thank you for the synchronicity, I'm just going to keep moving along. And if you are in a low state, perhaps this is a message for you around cheering up, around getting out of that state, whatever it may be. And if you're in an elevated state, it's probably important as well. So I really only pay attention, and if I have to dissect them, I do. But at this point, I know what they're saying. Angel numbers are telling you what they're telling you, right? If you've asked for a sign and you receive it, then you got it. So you don't really have to put that much thought and effort into it, especially because it takes you out of your intuition and into your thinking mind. And logically, you can't make sense of it, right? You have to be connected to everything to make sense of it. Baseline state, RVA Cleo says. All right, next, there was a couple final thoughts in my brain, and then we are going to talk about Bashar, he came back into my reality today, so I thought that's nice. Hello, Bashar. Welcome back to my reality. Jay is interested in, I don't know what that means when you're interested in contacting the, just DM me. And if it's something about like when I go live, I don't want to, I'm not joining your team. I get so many DMs either to be a sugar baby or to join somebody's like live TikTok team. And like both of those I'm uninterested in doing. Okay. Just so we can clearly air on that. So weird. Okay, next thought is, nobody and nothing can ruin your life unless you let it. That thought came into my brain and I was like, wow, somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear this. It's not me because I don't think I'm so empowered. I don't let anybody control my reality. So it's not me that needs to hear it. But somebody needs to hear it. You don't have to out yourself if it's you, but if it's you, like tap in. Nobody and nothing can ruin your life unless you let them let it. The second that you give an excuse to something, you have given some of your power to that thing. The second that you give an excuse to something, you have given your power to that thing, which means you are weaker in your manifesting strength, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Why would we do that? And that's in the house. I've been seeing 333, 1111, 555 a lot, but unsure what they all mean. Google it, Annette, Google it. There are so many. My favorite is Joanne Sacred Scribe's angel numbers. Joanne Sacred Scribe angel numbers. I feel like she's like the OG of the angel numbers. 1111 is like the starter number, and all the triples are starter numbers. And then eventually you're going to start to receive your own specific numbers. They're special just for you. Numbers like, I don't know, 729, or like they're not repeating. Maybe it's like 9413. I don't know. Like I'm just making these numbers up, right? That's why they're taking me so long to think about. I know what mine are. I have very specific angel numbers. Very specific. VIP Deborah says 57. Yep, amen to that. VIP Deborah knows hers. One more time, nobody and nothing can ruin your life unless you let them or it. If you are giving away your power to somebody else, it is a very clear sign that there is energetic work that needs to be done around you managing your own emotions. Your own emotions. They are your emotions, they're not anybody else's, right? But you emotionally give yourself and your power to that thing, that excuse. This and this and this ruined my life. My boss ruined my life. The person, the owners of this company who bought this company and laid me off, they ruined my life. No, they did not. They did not. They gave you an opportunity to do something new, right? It's a big reframe, but you've got to do it if you really want to step into your greatest empowerment and actually create your reality very simply and easily and effectively as well. Because you've got to learn to trust all of you. So anytime you give away an excuse to something else, you're like, okay, well, that can be my excuse, which means it's not on me. I'm not fully accountable. I'm not saying the experiences that happen to you are all because of you. I'm saying that what you do after them, whether you give power to them or not, is up to you. Is up to you. Pels and Pose, oh, welcome to the chat, my friend. It's nice to see you back here. VIP Gabby's in the house. Hey, Gabby, good morning, my beautiful friend. VIP Brenda, I keep seeing 1010 and I keep ignoring it. Well, why? Why? You don't have, but I mean, that's the thing, is like, you don't have to dissect it. Don't go dissecting every single one. I don't know if you were here, VIP Brenda, for the beginning of the conversation. You don't have to dissect every single sign and synchronicity. Take it as confirmation that you're on the right path. Every day, almost every day, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4. When I see those numbers, that just tells me, girl, you're on the right path. Keep on moving. You're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing right at this time. Because you went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, 2, 3, 4. All right, there's 2 reframes. There's one I meant to tell you yesterday and I totally spaced on it. And there's another one I received this morning, and they kind of go hand in hand quite beautifully. So we're going to, no, I wasn't, thank you. You're welcome. Good morning. Hi, it's me, Sam. Good morning, Sam. Welcome to the show. The first reframe is that, especially this is for you if you're an entrepreneur, or you're starting your business or your side hustle, whatever it is and however you want to go. Oh, 1 second, you guys, 1 second. Oh my gosh, there is a biggest cardinal that just landed on the tree right outside my window with a big chunk of bread in its beak. Ah, so freaking cute. Ah, okay, that was beautiful. Okay, if you are an entrepreneur, you're trying to build your business, start your side hustle, whatever, and you are struggling with the idea that you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, perhaps this will soften up the energy for you so you don't feel so desperately clung to it. Now, it could go one of two ways, right? This is going to be a visceral reaction for some people. It might trigger you. It might not be a good reframe. So if it's not a good reframe, don't accept it, okay? But the reframe could be that you are simply selling your art. You are selling your art. I mean, think about it. You're creating a course, you're creating a service, you're creating a product, and you are selling it. Now, for some people, that's going to be harder because it's going to make you feel more vulnerable because it's like, okay, well, now it's my art and it's like part of my heart, right? So maybe it's easier for you to say that you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, or starting your side hustle. But if that is hard for you because you don't think in those terms, you're like, I don't want to be a business person, I am an artist, then okay, you're selling your art. No big deal. No big deal. Pedal and Pose, thank you for the heart me. VIP Brenda says, pay attention to what you were doing, what you were thinking about, what you think about when you get your signs. Yes, when you get your angel numbers. At the beginning. When you get your angel numbers at the beginning, yes, pay attention to what you were doing, what you were feeling, what you were thinking about. Look what the angel number means, but not every time. Because eventually you're going to get so many angel numbers, you don't have time every single moment of every single day in flow state to be like, I'm going to stop my flow state to check my angel number. No, you're just going to say, thank you, God, Source, Universe, Creator, for sending me this confirmation that I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. Pedals and Post says to VIP Aaron, I love that so much. I hope you feel wonderful and are ready for the day. Oh, VIP Aaron, I missed something from you. What did you say, my friend? Hello, I don't see it. Oh, there we go. At Pedals Post, good morning. I warmed up this morning with one of your videos. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Go team. Okay, the second reframe that we're going to get into, Bashar, is instead of doing something that you have to do, like say you don't have a lot of motivation for that day and you're like looking at your to-do list for your business or your work and you're like, I literally don't want to do this. Because like I still have those days where I'm like, I just don't, like yesterday I was like, I don't even want to make a TikTok video. I don't even want to make one. Not a single one. I did it. Obviously, it's part of my business. It's part of me helping people. So I did it. It's part of my discipline. It's who I am. I'm the type of girly pop that does my TikTok videos every day, but I did not want to. So on the days that you don't want to do something, but you know that they're for your future, you know you're setting a strong foundation energetically and physically and spiritually and mentally and emotionally. You're creating the foundation on those moments that you're like, I don't want to create the foundation today, girl. I don't want to do it, Lindsay. Say that you are an artist creating your future. Maybe it softens it up. Lindsay, you know what? Today you're going to have to make another TikTok video and you're simply an artist creating your future rather than like this is something you have to do. It's not something you have to do. You're creating right now. How lucky are you that you get to make some art at this moment in time right now? All right. That's all I have for my random thoughts of the morning. There was a lot that came through. I was like, whoa. If you're new here, I go live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time currently. You guys, I still need to look at the numbers. I just feel like it's probably going to change to Monday to Wednesday. That's my gut feeling, Monday to Wednesday. I just feel it. I feel that way. Why? Because I'm creating a reality where I work from like 9 in the morning until like 11:30 noon. Okay, so that's the reality I'm creating. So that means if I work 9 to 10 on TikTok Live Monday through Friday, I only really have about 2.5 hours for the rest of each day versus 3 hours Monday through Wednesday, and then I get a couple of hours on the back end. Something's got to give, right? If I'm creating this passive type of business, something's got to give. And I also know that in order to create my reality, I must embody that reality, right? You've got to embody it. How do you embody? You take action toward it. So how would I work Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday? That would be even nice. 9 to noon every single day if I didn't start doing it, right? You've got to start doing it. So you've got to figure out the ebb and the flow of the money and the business and all the things. Catalina, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. All right, so Bashar, I ran into a Bashar video today. I was like, okay, I'll watch this. It looked nice. It looked interesting. He was talking about the flow of money. It's a very energetic conversation. So once again, money does currently in this reality, it's a tool, and it's a tool that we all need. Um, Technically not really. Like if you went to a bartering community, like you could barter and trade and you could live off of that. You could barter your skills for food and water and shelter and all those things. That's totally feasible. You just need enough people to do that with, right? The reason that money came about anyway is because you couldn't carry, like how many more times are you going to carry all these bottles of perfume, and the fur trappers are going to carry their fur, and these people are going to carry all their goods. That eventually they were like, well, why don't I just keep my goods at home and we carry this small piece of paper, and then I'll give you my small piece of paper, which indicates you get one of my goods. Like that's all it is. So if there is repulsion around the idea of money being a piece of paper, you're still technically just bartering. It just has a different form, okay? So let's not get it twisted on what money really is. It's just energy, it's a tool, okay? So Bashar says that creation is abundance. Now, abundance is all things, and money is part of abundance. Abundance is health. Abundance is energy, vitality, magnetism, charisma, the leaves on the trees, the grass, the grass pieces on the grass. What are they called? The pieces of grass on all the grass. The droplets of water in the ocean. That is abundance, okay? So it's all around us, everywhere. Abundance. I have so many pens. I'll show you. Look at all these pens. Abundance. It's everywhere. You can't actually escape it. So he says creation is abundance. Bashar. This is Bashar, channeled by Daryl Inca. Creation is abundance. So we can deduct then, since we are creation, you are creation, then you are abundance. How awesome is that? He says you were created exactly with what you needed. He says you were created with exactly what you need to create more of whatever you need. He says when you learn to do more with less, you'll be able to do less to get more. When you learn to do more with less, you will be able to do less to get more. Petals and Post says, my chickens make me feel wealthy when I collect the eggs. I love that. I'm gonna crochet, my sister just got chickens, and I'm gonna crochet her chicken egg collecting vest. Her and her little boy, my nephew. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute. I'm gonna make it a little vest, and then the pockets are gonna be shaped like like fried eggs, sunny side up eggs. I need to get to work on it, actually. Yes, I love that. Petals and Post says, I love it too. I think it's gonna be so cute. Okay, so when you learn to do more with less, you'll be able to do less to get more. For those of you inside the Cosmic Collective, this is why at the very beginning in February, right before we started our 6-month transformation, I taught you how to create a 1-action system. Why? Because you are doing less, but that system is going to bring you more. I almost guarantee it if you actually listened to what I instructed you to do and you implemented it. If you actually implemented a 1-action system, you're going to get way more than you ever bargained for. By just doing 1 action every single day, a small one, right? That's how you transform your life. So if you're interested in joining the Cosmic Collective, by the way, we are only 2 months into our 6-month transformation, which means you could catch up and still transform your life in a pretty wild way in the next 4 months. Good morning, WAN waiting for the boat. That's cute. Thank you for sharing the live. Petals and Post says, oh yes, thank you, I needed that. You're welcome. So he says to get to that point, you need to learn how to get to that point. You have to learn how to do more with less. And he uses the example of artists back in the day creating hieroglyphics. Is that what they're called, you guys? The petroglyphs, hieroglyphics? Petroglyphs. Okay, petroglyphs and hieroglyphics, okay? Basically what he's saying is artists back in the day did not have paintbrushes, and they did not have XYZ things that we have today, the paint at Hobby Lobby and all the chemical crap. They had a stick or some piece of metal, and they had a rock, okay? And yet today, we still are fascinated by their art. We are fascinated by their art. I thought that's a pretty good example. He says, so are you going to call them that you're going to say they weren't artists? Well, they drew pictures on rocks. It's art, is it not? Where we go to great lengths to like preserve this art, by the way. So I think that's kind of cool. So he says, He says that this is based on the idea that the greatest expression of power requires the most delicate touch. When you can do more with less, this is the greatest expression of power. It requires the most delicate touch, right? In other words, why you're super empowered, you're doing way more with less, which means your touch has to be delicate. Everything you're touching is turning to gold, to abundance. That's the power you possess, right? You're doing more with less. Do less getting more. He says when you feel powerless, you're doing a lot. You're pushing with a lot of human effort. You're trying to move all these things around, getting it to work. What is that? That is you being disconnected from your intuition. That is you being disconnected from your higher self. That is you using too much of your thinking mind versus your feeling energy, so you know actually what to do. When you heal your chakra system, you connect with your higher self. You become an open channel for information. And information will help you create, right? I received everything I talked about up until when I started talking about Bashar was information I received through my channel this morning while I was getting ready to come do this and hang out with you guys. It didn't come out of anywhere else. It just came right to my brain as I was brushing my teeth, as I was blow drying my hair, as I was putting on my eyebrows, right? A little bit. I opened my channel, I healed myself, I connected myself to my intuition. You can do the same thing, by the way. If you're interested in that, I do offer a course called the Unleash Your Manifesting course. It's called that because that's the transformation you receive. You start with healing and unlocking your channel, you open yourself up, and then boom, you've unleashed your manifesting power. It's a win-win, right? For only $77, if you're interested, you can go to lindsaywithlove.com. It's right on the first homepage, you'll see it. I need to heal myself is what it's gonna say. And click it. Go for it. Kelly Country Girl says, yes, they had to make their own colors from berries and other things found in nature. Exactly, their own. Yes, exactly. Exactly. They're still, but that's the thing is, this is the big point of it all. They're still artists, right? So you have people who are not starting something. Say you want to be an artist that paints. You're not starting it because you don't have all 45 paintbrushes that you think you need. You're not starting it because you don't have XYZ brand of paint from the special place at the paint store that's like super niche. You're not starting it because you don't have the right canvas. Like they used a stick and a rock. It's a lesson around resourcefulness, really. Because the more resourceful, and I've talked about this before, the more resourceful you are, the faster you're going to get something done. You're not waiting around to have like everything right in place. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. And as I go for it, it's gonna open up and open up and open up, right? VIP Mal is in the house. Okay, he says, do what you need to do with what you have. Do what you need to do with what you have. He says you can do more with less, and then what happens is you empower yourself, you energize yourself, and you enrich yourself to a degree that the cycle will be completed. And you will begin to see that as you become more powerful, you'll begin to use less of your power to accomplish more. So think about when you learn. When you're first learning how to walk as a little baby, that's kind of a hard thing because maybe we don't remember that as little babies. But you've got to like, little babies are always like grunting and making noises. So they push themselves up and they're like, oh, and they're like trying to like, they're using everything. They're trying to use the knees they don't have, right? Because the babies don't have the knees until they're 2. And they're trying to use their core strength, but they're like, what am I doing? And they're wobbling and they're trying to figure it out. And they're like, they're using their whole bodies. And then they keep learning and they keep learning. They become really empowered to learn how to walk. And then all of a sudden, they're just walking without even thinking about it. Because they're empowered to walk, right? They're doing less. They're doing less and getting more. Using less of their power and they're accomplishing more. I mean, it's a very simple example. It's a very simple example. He says, when you need to start by using your imagination. To start this process of learning, you need to use your imagination. Why? Because you need to become resourceful, and part of being resourceful is using your imagination. Say you wanted to create art and the only thing you had was a glue stick and that's it. That's all you had. What would you create? I would go out and I would find like a piece of tree bark that was already off the tree. I'm not going to rip off tree bark from a live tree, okay? I would go out to the nature, I would find like tree bark. From there, I would probably get some leaves and some flowers that had fallen on the ground, and I would use my glue stick and glue them on the tree bark, and I would make a cute picture. But I only had one thing, a glue stick in my imagination. See, it's very simple, but most people are not in that state. They're not in a resourceful state. So they can't do this, and they stop themselves, and all they're doing is delaying what they really desire, because they're too afraid that to be an artist means they must have the paintbrushes, they must have the easel in the special room in the garden with the music, and they're painting, and they've got a flowy dress or whatever. I don't know, right? I don't know, but that could be the vibe. Rather than just like do the damn thing. You have a computer, you have Wi-Fi. A lot of people are like, well, I can't make any more money. I'm like, well, if you're listening to me on TikTok, I actually know that you can, because it means you have a phone and Wi-Fi. So start making content. It's very simple, but a lot of people don't want to do it. They don't want to hear that, by the way. It requires a little bit of work. He says you need to start by using your imagination and trust that just as you are right now, you can accomplish what you want to. Just as you are right now, you can accomplish what you want to. Release the idea that you are capable of doing something in a different way than you are not capable. Wait, release the idea that all you are capable of doing something in a different way than somebody else. That doesn't make sense. I think the idea is like release the idea that you need to do it in the same way, right? The idea of the caveman and the artist. This is why redefining, I talk a lot about this inside of the Cosmic Collective and sometimes on this show, is my clients get caught up in definitions, big time. It just is what it is. You're a human, and that's how you've been taught. This is what this is. This is a coffee mug, right? And I could say, this is burnt orange on this coffee mug, and someone would say, no, that's pumpkin. And I would say, oh, okay. This is sky blue, and somebody would say, no, that is light blue. And I'd say, okay. Like, who cares? Like, make your definition. Who cares? I'm a successful entrepreneur. When I made my very first sale, I decided I was a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because I know that I have to have that framing in my mind in order to keep going. Then I got to pay my taxes for the first time ever this year, and now I'm a super successful entrepreneur. Now nothing can stop me. I'm like exponentially better, right? So you just keep reframing and reframing. And by the way, you don't have to share your definitions with somebody else, because somebody else might say, you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's not true. And you would say, okay. Okay, Webster, who made you the dictionary? Okay. He says the secret to money is when you know you can do more with less, you will require less to do more. That's the secret. You have access to all the abundance in the world. All you need to do is stretch your definition of what you are and what you are capable of doing so you become part of the definition. Stretch the definition of what you are and what you are capable of doing so you become part of the definition. Say you want to be a published author. And right now, from the definition that you have in your brain, a published author means that you're sitting in Barnes & Noble with a New York Times bestseller stamp on the cover of your book. Okay, well, I think we should delete that definition if you're not quite there yet. All you would need to do is stretch the definition of what a published author means. Write an article and send it to a magazine. A local magazine. The easiest magazine you could ever get into writing. Send it there. Post something that you wrote on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, boom. You are a published author. You're published. You published somewhere to the world to see. Now, however many people see it, who cares? You're a published author. You win. Like entrepreneurs, did you ever have to sell candy when you were little, or like t-shirts with print animals on them for like, or like Little Caesars pizza for like a fundraiser at school? Congratulations, my friend, you are an entrepreneur. Like, just stretch the definition and put your booty inside of it. It's not that hard. And then all of a sudden you feel a little bit more empowered, and now you're going to go after it a little bit harder. Not harder, but more consistently perhaps. Putting on your eyebrows. I say putting on my eyeballs for mascara. Kelly Country Girl says, I definitely needed this pep talk this morning. Thank you. You're welcome. If you're interested, join the Cosmic Collective. You're going to get a pep talk from me all day, every day. Waiting for the boat. I believe. Amen to that. Petals and Posts. I definitely had to decide if I wanted to do this now or after I buy a laptop for course trainings. Yeah, but you're like, Petals and Posts, you're like 45 steps ahead of yourself. Who cares about the course trainings and all of that? Build your audience. Start building your audience on TikTok. You need people to know you first, and then to like you, and then to trust you, and then they're going to buy from you. So you're already putting this roadblock in front of you right now that is, you know, maybe a month away, maybe 2 months away. And by the way, when people start to know you and like you and trust you, you're going to blow up on TikTok, and then you're going to have money coming in from TikTok, and then now you have the money to buy the laptop, and boom, there's your course. And all during that time, you're building your course, by the way. It's very simple. You could even be pre-selling your course to people, receiving money in before you even finish the course at a discounted price. It entices people to buy early, and it helps you build the course. There's so many ways to do it, but it's like a very linear type of thinking, and I'm not trying to call you out on it. It's just a very good example. It's like, rather than thinking so linearly and way far ahead, just what is right now? What is right now? What can you do right now? VIP Deborah says, I say I'm putting on my face for mascara and eyeliner, all I wear. Petals and Posts says, I'm just getting comfortable in the space first, then I will have the tools. But you already have everything you need. I'm doing it, yes. I'll be certified with time. Yes, of course, exactly. I'm building a community, and I love to go live and do yoga in the mornings. There you go. Keep building your community. You build a community, then you're like, hey guys, in my community, I'm doing this as this paid offer. Who's in? And now you have a whole community that is interested in you, right? So don't let a step 45 steps away or 10 steps away or 2 steps away block you from the step you're at right now, because you have everything you need, because creation is abundance and you are creation, right? You got to remember that. He says, you have access to the abundance. Stretch your definition. Okay, we just said that. Okay, and that's it. That's the show. That's really powerful in and of itself. So you've got to think about what you're doing right now and how you're defining it. And if your definition is not suiting you, then permission is granted by Bashar, by me, by the energy all around you to change the definition so you can step into your empowerment. Don't compare yourself to whatever somebody else is doing, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? That's their path. You are on your path. You are on your own path. VIP Deborah says, yes, it is powerful. Amen to that, my friend. If you are interested in hanging out with me in a greater capacity, you can join the Cosmic Collective. It's the only place on the internet where you're going to get access to me 24/7 through a Discord private community, where inside you will not just get access to me, but access to beautiful people who are also on the spiritual journey, also on the transformative journey, however that looks for you. Maybe it's more spiritual, maybe it's more business related. I don't know. However you want to transform your life. Just heard some big noise. And for those of you that are interested in learning your energy, there are a couple of ways you can do it. You have got to become aware of yourself before you can actually create your best life. Because imagine, I used to think that I was meant to climb the corporate ladder. But when I learned my energy, I realized I was meant to be my own boss. What a shocker, right? Not only did I learn that, but I learned that I have weird things in my chart called the intercepted signs and duplicated signs. My money is connected to the way I communicate my value out to the world. I have got to tell you about myself, which is very uncomfortable for me to do as a double Cancer Piscean type of person, so that you understand who I am. It's a tricky experience. But alas, I have to do it. Why? So that I can collect all of my abundance in and also share with you guys everything I know. Wonderful. So you learn who you are through your astrology report. You get into the healing course. By the way, when you sign up for the astrology report, once I send it to you, once I'm finished with it, I will send you a discount code for the healing course, so you don't even have to pay full price. I know, that's so generous of me. Roshan, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow. Kashina, girl, where have you been? Welcome to the show, my friend. And that's it. That's all I've got to say today. You can go to lindsaywithlove.com to check out more about me. You can go to my YouTube at I'm Lindsay with Love and subscribe. That would be super helpful for me. I would love that. And check out my content all the time, because I'm always posting astrology videos. I'm always posting about energy, spirituality, things in my brain that come out in a certain way so people can get the help that they need. Girl life, aw. Kashina. All right, we're going to go over YouTubers. Have a great day. I will see you back here tomorrow. And to my VIP